voices just like this. Welcome to Sleep With Me, a podcast about nothing in particular. What did you do today? I had a really nice day. And he just rambles for like hours, and I use that to fall asleep all
I've been using The Office to fall asleep, so I might have to switch over to that.
Oh, Sleep With Me is an amazing podcast, but he does everything at the beginning because he knows his by the time you get to the actual story part of his podcast, it's all like really long bedtime stories. People will be falling asleep. Like he has an extended Star Trek storyline, and like if you listen to them while you're awake, they're kind of genius. But like if you're at all tired, you are just gone. It's got to be like an ASMR thing or something. I don't know.
I do want to log off close to 9 a little after, so should we get started with this?
Yep. Yes. 2 is longer than 1.
That's all right. We'll have fun.
Yeah. We'll do it live.
Okay. All right.
I love that there's a 3 and then a 3.5.
Yeah, it's so good.
Okay, Kyle, do you want to introduce it?
Sure. All right, everybody, welcome back to Duck Duck Grey Duck. We're doing a little bonus pod on the Eye of Argon, a famously
Thank you,
awful...
Patreon subscribers.
For you, Patreon subscribers.
I had a roll going there. Okay.
I'm sorry.
Start over again.
You forgot to plug the Patreon. You have to thank them.
Well, I also do this thing where I repeat jokes that I think are funny. So that's why. Okay, anyway, sorry. Go.
I refuse. That's just our intro now.
Okay. All right, let's get started then.
I'll do it. Hi, everybody. Welcome back to Duck Duck Grey Duck. This week, we're doing a little bonus podcast for our Patreon subscribers. We'll be going through The Eye of Argon, a famously awful sci-fi original property generated by Jim Thies. It's real crazy. We've already recorded 1 chapter of it, so this is chapter 2. We join Grigner after his battle on wherever the hell he was.
Gorzom.
No, he's not in Gorzom.
Arriving in Gorzom.
Outside of Gorzom.
Oh.
He defeated the Norgolians, or the Norgolians, depending on what line it is. And he now approaches the city for reasons. Connor, you go first.
All right. Arriving after dusk in Gorzom, Grigner descended down a dismal alley, reining his horse before a beaten tavern. The red-haired giant strode into the dimly lit hostelry, reeking of foul odors and cheap wine. The air was heavy with choking fumes spewing from smoldering torches encased within deadened, earthen-packed walls. Tables were clustered with groups of drunken thieves and cutthroats, tossing dice, or making love to willing prostitutes. Oh my god!
Okay, we need to deconstruct that. Smoldering torches is 1 word.
Yep, smoldering torches.
Dens is 1 word.
Thetans. I think it needs to be pronounced Thetans.
Thetans, like Scientology?
Yeah.
The Thetans earthen-packed walls.
Yep.
A willing prostitute, as opposed.
Oh
man. Woof. Eyeing a slender female crouched alone on a nearby bench, Grigner advanced, wishing to wholesomely occupy his time.
Wholesomely. It's fun for the whole family.
All right, Chris, go.
The flickering torches cast weird shafts of luminescence dancing over the half-naked harlot of his choice. Her stringy, orchid twines of hair swing gracefully over the lithe, opaque...
Oh, no.
Good luck.
The flickering torches cast weird shafts of luminescence dancing over the half-naked harlot of his choice. Her stringy orchid twines of hair swaying gracefully over the lithe, opaque nose as she raised a half-drained mug to her pale red lips. Well, glancing upward, the alluring complexion noted the stalwart giant as he rapidly approached. A faint glimmer sparked from the pair of deep blue ovals of the amorous female as she motioned toward Grigner. Oh, fuck, all right.
Oh my god, ovals. I forgot about the ovals.
Oh, what the hell?
A faint... Chris?
A faint glimmer sparked from the pair of deep blue ovals of the amorous female as she motioned towards Grigner, enticing him to join her. The barbarian seated himself upon a stool at the wench's side, exposing his body, naked for a loincloth, brandishing a long steel broad, an iron spiraled battle.
Nope. Boo. You're done. Jesus Christ.
The doozy.
The barbarian seated himself upon a stool at the wench's side, exposing his body, naked save for a loincloth, brandishing a long steel broadsword, an iron spiraled battle helmet, and a thick leather sandals. To her unobstructed view.
You're done.
A thick leather sandals? How did he expose the leather? Okay, fine.
Also, how did his loincloth brandish
his helmet? Oh my god.
Okay.
All right, Kyle. No. Oh, this.
Okay, I found it.
Kyle, you suck. All right, Chris.
Thou hast need to occupy.
No, we need to finish the sentence.
No, we finished the last one.
No, we didn't.
Yeah,
Y'all
we
laughed
did.
you laughed in unobstructed.
Ah, fuck.
The
Fine.
barbarian seated himself upon a stool at the wench's side, exposing his body, naked save for a loincloth, brandishing a long steel broadsword, an iron spiraled battle helmet, and a thick leather sandals. A thick leather sandals to her.
You're done. You laughed.
God damn it. Okay. The barbarian seated himself upon a stool at the wench's side, exposing his body, naked save for a loincloth brandishing a long steel broadsword, an iron spiraled battle helmet, and a thick leather sandals to her unobstructed view.
Nailed it.
Thou hast need to occupy your time, barbarian? Question the female. Only if something worth offering is within my reach, stated Grigner, as his hands crept to embrace the tempting female, who welcomed them with open willingness. Oh my god. All right. From where do you come, barbarian, and by what are you called? Gasped the complying wench, as Grigner smothered her. Gasped the what the hell? Oh god, this is gonna get okay. Kyle, okay, you have to do one sentence.
No. Whew. Are we counting gasped as the start of the sentence?
Oh no, you gotta start from that quote.
Oh man, okay. I think the typography implies that it's gasped, but okay. From where do you come, barbarian, and by what are you called? Gasped the complying wench, as Grigner smothered her lips with the blazing torch of his... Oh, nope. I'm out.
Fuck.
Blazing touch. Take care of your commas.
From where do you come, barbarian, and by what are you called? Gasped the complying wench, as Grigner smothered her lips with the blazing touch of his flaming mouth. The engrossed Titan ignored the queries of the inquisitive female, pulling her towards him and crushing her sagging nipples to his yearning chest. Without struggle, he gave in.
No! Oh, fuck.
I didn't know if it was going to be winding or winding, because honestly, it could be either.
More importantly, you made it past sagging nipples. I was gone. I was gone.
Yeah, you're amazing for doing that first try. All right. Without struggle, she gave in, winding her soft arms around the harshly bronzed hide of Grigner corded shoulder. Oh my god. This is illiterate. Oh my god.
Apparently the space bar was a little touchy. Without struggle, she gave in, winding her soft arms around the harshly bronzed hide of Grigner corded shoulder blades, as his calloused hands caressed her firm, protruding busts. You make love well, wench, admitted Grigner as he reached for the vessel of potent wine his charge had been quaffing. A flying foot caught the mug Grigner had taken hold of, sending its blood-red contents sloshing over a flickering crescent, leashing tongues of bright orange flame to the foot-trodden floor.
No! God damn it.
Foot-trodden floor, man. Don't you hate when people trot all over your floor?
A flying foot caught the mug Grigner had taken a hold of. Oh, nope, I gave him too much credit. I inserted
Yep.
Ah, damn it. A flying foot caught the mug Rigner had taken hold of, sending its blood-red contents sloshing over a flickering crescent, leashing tongues of bright orange flame to the foot-trodden floor. "Remove yourself, sirrah! The wench belongs to me!" blabbered a drunken soldier, too far consumed by the influences of her
Dat,
Okay.
semicolon, dough.
Ugh.
Remove yourself, sirrah! The wench belongs to me, blabbered a drunken soldier, too far consumed by the influences of his virile brew to take note of the superior size of his adversary.
common problem.
Hot.
What?
I was just saying,
Oh,
I run into that problem too, underestimating the superior size.
Size of my adversary.
yes. Grigner lithely bounded from the startled female, his face lit up to an ashen red ferocity, and eyes locked in a searing feral blaze toward the swaying soldier. "To hell with you, braggart!" bellowed the angered Accordion as he heft his finely honed broadsword. The staggering soldier clumsily reached towards the pommel of his dangling sword, but before his hands ever touched the oaken hilt, a silvered flash was slicing the heavy air. The thews of...
What is thews? What the fuck is thews?
I don't know.
The thews of the savage's lashing right arm bulged from the glistening bronzed hide as his blade bit deeply into the soldier's neck, lopping off the confused head of his senseless tormentor. With a nauseating thud, the severed oval toppled to the floor as the segregated torso of Grigner's bovine antagonist swayed, then collapsed in a pool of swirled crimson.
Oh, you're
bovine antagonist.
This is oval number 2.
Oh my god.
In the confusion of the soldier's fellows confronted Grigner with an unsheathed cutlasses directed toward the latter's scowling makeup. The slut should have pickled his quarry more carefully.
What?
Mocking
pickled.
baritone growl.
No, you're wrong. You said pickled.
Damn it!
Iconic quote. The slut should have pickled his quarry more carefully.
God.
Episode name.
Chris, how did you become more illiterate than this story already?
It kind of breaks your ability to read English because you have to go to this place where you're like, I don't know what's coming next.
It does. Okay. You just have to like view each word for what it is.
But then as you process the words, they become funny. And it breaks.
All right, let's do this. "The slut should have picked his quarry more carefully," roared the victor in a mocking baritone growl as he wiped his dripping blade on the prostrate form and returned it to its scabbard. "The fool should have shown more prudence. However, you shall rue your actions while rotting in the pits," stated one of the sprawled soldier's comrades. Grigner's hand began to remove his blade from its leather housing, but retarded the motion in the face of the... Damn it. Damn it.
Oh, man. I don't like this. I don't like that I laughed at that.
I know, I feel bad, but also, yeah, whatever.
Grigner's hand began to remove his blade from its leather housing, but retarded the motion in face of the blades waving before his face. "Dismiss your hand from the hilt, barbarian, or you shall find a foot of steel sheathed in your gizzard."
Oh, wow.
Grigner weighed his position, observing his plight, whereupon he took the soldier's advice as the only logical choice. To attempt to hack his way from his present predicament could only warrant certain death. He was of no mind to bring upon his own demise if an alternate path presented itself. The will to necessitate his life...
The will to necessitate his life forced him to yield to the superior forces in hopes of a moment of carelessness.
Carelessness.
Yeah, nope, boop. The will to necessitate his life forced him to yield to the superior force in hopes of a moment of carelessness later upon the part of his captors in which he could effect a more plausible means of escape. You may steady your arm. I will go without a struggle. Your decision is a wise one, yet perhaps you would have been better off had you forced death. The soldier's mouth wrinkled to a sadistic grin of knowing mirth as he prodded his prisoner on with his sword point.
Knowing mirth.
Knowing mirth.
Wrinkled.
All right. After an indiscriminate period of marching through slinking alleyways and dim moonlighted streets, the procession confronted a massive seraglio. The palace area was surrounded by an iron grating with a lush garden upon all sides. The group was admitted through the gilded gateway, and Grigner was led along a stone pathway bordered by plush vegetation, lustfully enhanced by the moon-shimmering rays. Lustfully enhanced. Upon reaching the palace, the group was greeted... Damn it.
Led along, one word.
Led along.
Also, vegetation,
Yes.
spelled with veget.
Vegetation. Oh.
Upon reaching the palace, the group was granted entrance, and after several minutes of explanation, led through several winding corridors to a richly draped chamber.
Ugh.
Oh.
Confronting the group was a short, stocky man seated upon a golden throne. Tapestries of richly draped...
Nope.
Tapestries of richly draped regal blue silk covered all walls of the chamber, while the steps leading to the throne were plated with sparkling white ivory. The man upon the throne had a naked wench seated at each of his arms, and a thrust... Wow.
All women are wenches in this
Oh no,
story.
you have to say thrusted advisor, did you? No. The man upon the throne had a naked wench seated at each of his arms, and a trusted advisor seated in back of him. At each corner of the chamber, God damn it. Corner. Oh no.
Okay. At each corner of the chamber, a guard stood at attention with upraised spikes. Nope.
At each corner of the chamber, a guard stood at the attention.
Connor.
At each
Around the
corner
corner.
of the guard. I think I'll do it.
Okay. At each corner of the chamber, a guard stood at attention with upraised pikes supported in their hands, golden chainmail adorning their torsos, and barred helmets emitting scarlet plumes and shrouding their heads. The man rose from his throne to the dais surrounding it. His plush turquoise robe dangled loosely from his chunky frame. The soldiers surrounding Grigner fell to their knees with heads bowed to the stone masonry of the floor in fearful dignity to their sovereign. Liege? Explain the purpose of this intrusion upon my chateau. Your serenity. Resplendent in noble grandeur, we have brought this yokel before you.
No.
This is the
No.
part where he bought a thesaurus. He's like, I'm running out of words. What's another word for house? How about the chateau?
Your serenity, resplendent in noble grandeur, we have brought this yokel before you, the soldier gestured toward Grigner, for the redress or your all-knowing wisdom in judgment regarding his fate.
Wow, nice job.
Down on your knees, lout, and pay proper homage to your sovereign, commanded the pudgy noble of Grigner. By the surly beard of Mrifk, Grigner kneels to no man, scowled the massive barbarian. You dare to deal this blasphemous act to me? You are indeed brave, strong...
Wow, you got surly beard of Murfrick. That's legendary. By the surly beard of Murfrick. Grigner kneels to no man.
You are indeed brave, stranger, yet your valor smacks of foolishness. I find you to be the only fool sitting upon your pompous throne, enhancing the rolling flabs of your belly in the midst of your elaborate luxuriant. The soldier standing at Grigner's side smote him heavily in the face with the flat of his sword, cutting short the harsh words and knocking his battered helmet to the masonry with an echoing clang. The paunchy noble's sagging round face flushed suddenly pale, then hastily lit up to know what the hell? It's not
Right, like remember what I said in the first episode that there would be things that are logically inconsistent if you tried to animate it. You'd have to like unanimate what you just said. That's one of them.
God.
The paunchy noble's sagging round face flushed suddenly pale, then hastily lit up to a lustrous cherry red radiance. His lips trembled with malicious rage while emitting a muffled, sibilant gibberish. His sagging flabs rolled like a tub of upset jelly, then compressed as he sucked in his gut in an attempt to conceal his softness. The prince regained his statue, then spoke to the soldiers surrounding Grigner, his face conforming to an ugly expression of sadistic humor. Take this uncouth heathen to the vault of misery, and be sure that his agonies are long and drawn out before death can release him. As you wish, sire, your command shall be heeded immediately, answered the soldier on the right of Grigner as he stared into the barbarian's seemingly unaffected face. The advisor seated in the back of the noble slowly rose and advanced to the side of his master, motioning the wenches seated at his sides to remove themselves. He lowered his head and whispered to the noble, Eminence, the punishment you have decreed will cause much misery to this scum, yet it will only last a short time. Then release him to a land beyond the sufferings of the human body. Why not mellow him in one of the subterranean vaults for a few days? Then send him to life labor in one of your buried mines.
Ooh.
I think I laughed.
It's okay.
Your buried mines. Next.
Why not mellow him in one of your subterranean vaults for a few days, then send him to life labor in one of your buried mines? To one such as he, a life spent in the confinement of the Stygian pits will be an infinitely more appropriate and lasting torture. The noble cupped his drooping double chin in the folds of his brimming palm.
Rhyming.
Damn it.
Noble cupped his drooping double chin in the folds of his briming palm, meditating for a moment upon the rationality of the counselor's words, then raised his shaggy brown eyebrows and turned toward the advisor, eyes aglow.
Oh, God. Block quote.
Right. As always, Agathon, you speak with great wisdom. Your words ring of great knowledge concerning the nature of one such as he, saith the king. The noble turned toward the prisoner with a noticeable shimmer reflecting in his frog-like eyes and his lips contorting to a greasy grin. I have decided to void my previous decree. The prisoner shall be removed to one of the palace's underground vaults. There he shall stay until I have decided that he is sufficiently simmered, whereupon he is allowed to spend the remainder of his days at labor in one of my mines. I am a god.
Agathon.
Agathon. Upon hearing this, Grigner realized that his fate would be far less merciful to death than one such as he, who is used to roaming the countryside at will. A life of confinement would be more than his body and mind could stand up to. This type of life would be immeasurably worse than death. I shall never understand the ways of your twisted civilization. I simply defend my honor and am condemned to life confinement by a pig who sits on his royal ass wooing whores and knows nothing of the affairs of the land he imagines to rule. Lectures Grigner? Enough of this. Away with the slut before I loose my control. Seeing the peril of his position, Grigner searched for an opening. Crushing prudence to the sward, he plowed into the soldier at his left arm, taking hold of his sword, and bounding to the dais supporting the prince before the startled guards could regain their composure. Agathon leaped Grigner and his sire, but found a sword blade permeating the length of his ribs before he could loose his weapon. The counselor slumped to his knees as Grigner slid his crimsoned blade from rib cage. The fat prince stood undulating in insurmountable fear before the edge of the fiery maned comet, his flabs of jellied blubber pustulating to and fro in ripples. Oh no! It's so far!
Is that me then?
Yeah. Fuck, I did so much.
The fat prince stood undulating in insurmountable fear before the edge of the fiery-maned comet, his flabs of jellied blubber pulsating to and fro in ripples of flowing terror. "Where is your wisdom and power now, your majesty?" growled
Where is your wisdom and power now, your majesty? Growled Grigner. The prince went rigid as Grigner discerned him glazing over his shoulder. He swiveled to the...
Nope, that's not what it says. He swived to note the cause of the noble's attention, raised his sword over his head, and prepared to leash a vicious downward cleft, but fell short as the haft of a steel-rimed pike clashed against his unguarded skull. Then blackness and solitude, silence enshrouding an ever-peaceful reign supreme. Before me, Sirrah, before me as always, ha, 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 nobly cackled.
Nobly cackled.
He just forgot a subject.
Okay.
The one of two parts that he needed, and he forgot it.
Okay, so slived is amazing. Majesty is amazing.
Majesty.
Also, at the paragraph where it ends, lectures Grigner, that almost sounds to me like it was like a note to himself. Like, is this a good idea? Wasn't he just in a brothel?
Oh, I love this. Agfund?
Agafund and Agfund.
Agfund.
Continuing to drop vowels left and right.
Oh, this is awesome.
We're giving him a lot of credit too. Like we're catching about like 70% of the errors.
Oh God, my brain
so
doesn't
hard.
want to read this because I don't want to feel like I'm having a stroke all the time. Like,
I don't want to forget how conventional English works.
It puts your brain in such a weird place because you're like, no, you want it to be incorrect, but also your brain is trained to not do that.
You know what I want? I want this exact thing we're doing, except it's the editors of the major liberal elite establishment publications. Like I want the editor of the Atlantic, the editor of the New Yorker, the editor of the New York Times and the Washington Post to play Eye of Argon.
Oh my God, that would be amazing.
I just want video of the exact moment where they start bleeding from their ears.
I could do politicians doing this too.
Ooh, could we instead get the
Hillary Clinton doing Eye of Argon? Upon hearing this, Grigner realized that his fate would be far less merciful than death to one such as he, who was used to roaming the countryside at will.
Enough of this.
Can we get
Oh, I can't say that word. Before I lose it, bro.
The Meryl Streep and Tom Hanks Oscar bait?
Yes.
Wait, this is the best Oscar bait movie ever.
Listen, if Tommy Wiseau can go to the Oscars, then whoever wrote this should be able to go to the Oscars too.
Was Tommy Wiseau there?
I don't think he got.
I don't think he was. So
there was like a huge movement for people to like +1 him, but I think the organizers of the show maybe were thinking he would go crazy.
Tommy,
I would.
Tommy tweeted at fucking Mark Hamill and was like, "Hey Mark, can I get like an extra ticket?" And he's like, "Sad, like huge fan of your work. Sadly, I can't even get tickets for my kids. I can't get you one. Sorry." Oh man. I never finished that movie.
The Room or The Disaster Artist?
Disaster Artist.
Not that good.
Overhyped.
Yeah, it's like James Franco did a really great job and everything else is boring.
I honestly thought especially the script for that movie was just kind of not.
Yeah. My screenwriting professor, that's one of his students, first Oscar nominated student.
Oh.
Mm-hmm. Send him a little congrats, and then if they need an intern, tell me.
Will intern for younger men.
Oof. All right, fellas, I'm gonna jump off.
All right,
I love y'all.
We got.
Glad we did this because I feel less
incredibly depressed.
All right.
What a brutal episode.
All right, thank you for joining us this week on the Duck Duck Grey Duck reads What is the name of it? The Eye of
Eye
Argon.
of Argon.
I think that Duck Duck Grey Duck Reads is a really funny podcast.
Yeah, this is good. Our sign off for this has to be what the fuck was the guy's
By the surly bed of Mufuk.
I think it has to be Gregner, Agafind, Grey Duck,
Duck Duck Grigner.
Duck. Oh, that's much better. All right, Chris, signing off. Duck.
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 Yeah.
Oh,
No.
fuck, we're terrible.
3, 2, 1. Duck.
Duck.
Grigna.
This segment is called Duck Duck Grigner.
That's good. This is for our Patreon subscribers.
Oh yeah. For a non-existent Patreon.
We've only published 6 episodes and we already have a spinoff. I'm excited.
Oh God.
Good job, folks.
I got a text from my dad in the middle of the last episode. He said, "Nice Raytheon trap."
Ooh, we need to start doing live music.
No.
Okay.
Why?
Oh, I was just saying,
What
like,
if God was one of us?
Oh,
This is like one of us.
guys, I'm so excited for Christian Netflix series. It's gonna be so fun.
Oh my God, God's not dead.
Well, like they have a whole streaming service.
oh,
We could review NRA TV too.
Oh,
I don't want to give NRA TV any more coverage than.
Yeah, I'm okay giving PureFlix money, oddly, but not NRA TV, even though it's mostly the same thing.
Yeah, big overlap.
All right.
Graphic. All right.
All right. Good night, fellas.
Bye, boys.
Good episodes.